and thank you for joining in tonight in this live Facebook video. So I'm Gerard Gregory, the current chairperson of VetBooks for Africa, and I just want to, firstly, before we start, give a big thank you to Roger and the good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining. Like I said, big thanks to Roger and the Expedition Project team for giving us this wonderful opportunity to come here tonight and to explain to you guys a little bit more about what VetBooks for Africa is and what it is we do. So we are a student-driven society of the University of Pretoria that is affiliated with the Honours Support Faculty of Veterinary Science in Pretoria. What we essentially do, it is a continuation of a unique project that was established already in 1993. Our committee currently consists of 8 students that all study veterinary science at the university, at the Faculty of Veterinary Science of the University of Pretoria. We go on a biannual trip once every 2 years to the selected countries up in Africa and deliver much needed textbooks, journals, supplies, and equipment of veterinary interest to the remote veterinary faculties, sanctuaries, animal rehabilitation centers, and community veterinary clinics in Africa. The team also then offers education, treatment, and advice to local communities in the traveled areas. So like I said, we are a society affiliated with the University of Pretoria. Our society currently has 173 members, most of which are studying also veterinary science or veterinary nursing at the Honours Support Faculty of Veterinary Science. So our society members also understand our cause and support our cause 100%, and therefore have decided to join in our fight to help better educate African veterinarians. Our vision is unlocking the true potential of conservation in Africa through the education of its people. Quite a powerful statement that is really something we really do believe in. Our mission is then, like I said previously, to distribute veterinary textbooks, journals, and other supplies and equipment to veterinary faculties, rural communities, schools that are in need of some of these commodities in the various countries in Africa that we visit, while aiding and volunteering our time at the veterinary clinics and conservation sanctuaries up in Africa. We strive to promote education and conservation through our actions and to unite veterinary students in Africa in order to achieve the ultimate goal of preserving the world for generations to come. I'm just quickly going to read to you guys some of our objectives, which is really some stuff we believe in 100%. So our first objective is to promote the veterinary profession in Africa through the distribution of educational media. Our second objective, to engage with and assist communities and their animals through the distribution of educational media, medication, vaccinations, equipment, and donations to various community veterinary clinics, animal rehabilitation centers, and animal sanctuaries, and to promote and advance veterinary education across Central and Southern Africa, thereby upholding the international regard for African veterinary faculties, to promote and strengthen the relations between African veterinary faculties and to advance veterinary standards across Africa, to promote environmental awareness through education across Africa, and to serve as an intermediary that links people and organizations across Africa to ensure a sustainable future. So yeah, this is the basic beliefs that VetBooks for Africa trust and believe, and is the core of our cause that we strive to achieve during our term. I thought I'd just quickly mention while we're here. So our committee is not a permanent committee that stays in control of things throughout. Like we said, we're student driven and have academic programs to keep up with. So our committee is elected every 2 years, and then you have a two-year term running, after which we elect a new committee that will take on the baton and go forward with the VetBooks for Africa cause. In saying this gives us the unique opportunity to have new blood coming in constantly, new ideas and everything, new innovation that's coming through and making the cause even better and better as we go on. So here's a list of, so we've already been busy for a year now. So our trip will be taking place in December 2020 and January 2021. That's the proposed date due to this world pandemic. We're not too sure anymore, but we trust and we hope that everything will fall in place, that we can still make this trip a reality at the end of the year. So the universities we've been in contact with, and it has confirmed our visit, is the Sokoine University of Agriculture in Mahoro in Tanzania, the University of Nairobi in Kenya, the University of Zambia in Lusaka, the University of Zimbabwe in Harare, the Makerere University in Kampala in Uganda, and the Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources in Malawi. Like we also mentioned, that we visited a couple of charities and schools and local veterinary community clinics to also try and assist them as much as we can, and to make things and to ease the burden on them also a little bit. So the charities that we will be trying to help is the Vic Falls Wildlife Trust in Zimbabwe, the Kayatsi Primary School, the Wilhelmina High School in Malawi, and the Tumaini Jema Primary School and Nursery also in Malawi, then Opojeta in Kenya, and the Rutete Elephant Sanctuary also in Kenya. These are charities that we did extensive research on and got the contacts of, and these are people that really needed some help, and we decided that it fits within our bracket to also help them. You'd realize there's a lot of schools part of it. A big part of us is the education part of it, and therefore the schools we help. We will also be taking the Kingsley Holgate Elephant and Rhino Art campaign with us on the trip, and trying to help educate these children as well in the art of conservation and what these animals are all about. We also partnered with Lessons in Conservation, whose sole purpose is to educate children about conservation. But I'll give a little bit more detail about Lessons in Conservation a little bit later within this video. So, although we do a lot of work up in Africa, and it is our main goal is to help the university, the African veterinary faculties, and the veterinary students up there to get a better education. We also believe that we need to do some work down here in South Africa as well, to do our good within our local communities. So we are part of the Maverick Outreach, which is a combined project between the University of Pretoria's medical students and the veterinary students, and a bit of educational students, and also a bit of law students also involved. So what it basically is a day we go out, it's 2 days within the year. You go out into a local community close to the university. There we set up stations where there's medical checkups for people as well as for animals. This is free of charge. We give dewormers, we vaccinate their dogs. There's a play area for their children, which really is a fun day to teach these people to better look after themselves and also the animals, and then also to give the children a bit of experience in playing with different things than they used to. We also had a team under our other partner, the Wildlife Conservation Trust, that drove in the 94.7 Cycle Challenge, which is a really big cycle challenge happening in Johannesburg every year within South Africa. Then we also had the privilege of helping and assisting at the World Youth Wildlife Summit during September 2019 at the South African Wildlife College there by the open gate of the Kruger National Park. It was a fun week where we got to interact with a lot of children that came to South Africa to learn about conservation and to learn about wildlife, to see their faces, to see what they learned, and to see how other people do the education part was really eye-opening, and it made us a lot better. Well, just being there made me a better person, and I trust the rest of my committee also feels the same. It was really fun. We got into contact with a lot of people that's big in the conservation industry, and it was really nice bumping heads with them, getting their expertise, listening to them, learning some lessons. So yes, a really nice experience for us. The Vet Books for Africa team also, we make handmade bracelets. I unfortunately do not have one with me now to show you, as with the lockdown, I was a pretty big of a rush out of the university and forgot to take that. But these bracelets we sell as a fundraiser and also as an awareness campaign to make people aware that there is other veterinary students out there that do not get the same level of education as we do. We also have numerous other fundraising events throughout the year, like our annual dodgeball tournament that we hold on the Honors to Poet faculty. So this dodgeball tournament is more for the Honors to Poet students, but it's really fun night, filled with a lot of hurt and a lot of laughter and a lot of dressing up. But everyone enjoys it at the end of the day, and it really makes people aware of our cause and what we really try to achieve. And then through our partners, the Wildlife Conservation Trust, who's the mother body of the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Centre, or HESC. We also try and get some supplies and stuff that HESC desperately needs to care for the animals. I'll have a little bit more to say about HESC right at the end, to give you guys an opportunity, those that's interested, to maybe visit them as well. So I thought I'd just give you guys an overview of who our partners is and what they are. So obviously, being a society of the University of Pretoria, under the SRC, we are definitely partnered with them, and our faculty helps us tremendously achieving our goal. And also it's in their best interest to reach out to these African veterinary faculties and to build relationships with them in order to create a sustainable future where African veterinarians can work in unison to create a conservation center within Africa. Then, like I mentioned a couple of times before, the Wildlife Conservation Trust. So this is an entity that was founded through the efforts of many dedicated people and organizations working towards the conservation of endangered species and vulnerable animal species. The Wildlife Conservation Trust facilitates projects like HESC and recently also HERD, and then also also Vet Books for Africa, as we are also now classified as a project under them, with a focus on conservation, rehabilitation, and the protection of wildlife, as well as education and training programs relating to the environment, which is really where we fit in. Then, I just wanted to say, as we are characterized as a project under the Wildlife Conservation Trust, we are also listed on Global Giving, which is an online funding platform. So if anyone feels the need to donate money towards the Vet Books for Africa cause, it's really easy and simple to just go into Global Giving and search for Vet Books for Africa or the Wildlife Conservation Trust, and there you'll see us. You can also look at our project reports there and see how we've been going on during this term of ours and during this difficult period. Another partner is the International Veterinary Student Association, or the IVSA. So it only makes sense for us to be partnered with them. So they're also a non-profit organization run by volunteer veterinary students, and it was founded already in 1953. IVSA is a global organization that involves thousands of students from over 60 different countries from all around the world. IVSA assists Vet Books for Africa in collecting books and equipment, and also helps us a lot with fundraising through the Global Fundraising Week, which is usually during October. We will just have to wait and see what happens this year. Then also what Vet Books for Africa offers IVSA is, as we go up into this Africa faculties and then get students involved with IVSA and get them on board, to make them part of this international society and to get them all the necessary tools to also take part in our group chats and stuff about veterinary education and about certain interesting facts that relate to us especially. Then our most recently acquired partner, or not most recently, is Lessons in Conservation, like I mentioned earlier. So Lessons in Conservation is a non-profit company established in 2018. So it's recently young society or young organization. It is completely student run, and they're also a registered NPO within South Africa. They aim to educate young children in rural communities about conservation, thereby creating a generation of people that have grown to love and accept conservation and nature itself. Both Vet Books for Africa and LIC are student run, and as students are, we are very ambitious, and both are growing at an exceptional rate. LIC has grown tremendously within the last 2 years, and I do implore all of you to if you have the opportunity, to go to LIC's website and just go see what exactly they've achieved. So we are striving towards a common goal, which is a sustainable future where nature as we know it is preserved for generations to come, which is kind of the common goal that all conservation entities is striving towards. And what LIC believes in firmly is that conservation entities should stand together rather than fighting against each other. Kind of exactly what the Expedition Project is doing, is to create an environment where we really preserve the world and not fight against each other